Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. As always, it's me, Ivan, and today we're finally taking an in-depth look at a watch I've mentioned a couple of times before, the Boderry HOU. This is a dressy piece that's incredibly well made, with a great looking dial and a beautifully decorated movement. Sure, there are a couple of things people tend to complain about, but overall it's an amazing watch and in my opinion, absolutely worth the money. I bought this watch myself from the Boderry official store on Aliexpress. It usually goes for $150 but during a sale you can grab one for about $130, which is kind of insane considering how good this watch is. And as always, I'll try to get you some discount codes to bring the price down even more, so keep an eye on the description and pinned comment. This model comes in 3 different dial configurations, and honestly I like it so much that I wish I could have all 3. But hey, since that's not possible, I went with the purple one, which recently became one of my favorite dial colors. Before we move on to the dimensions, we need to take a moment and look at the packaging, which I definitely didn't expect to be this good. It's basically a box within a box, and the leather case the watch comes in feels really nice and can also be used as a travel case. I know that when it comes to inexpensive watches, people don't care much about the box, but guys, unboxing this watch definitely leaves a very strong first impression. Dimensions-wise, this Boderry might raise a few eyebrows, but honestly, if you've got the wrist for it, there is nothing to worry about. The case diameter is 38mm, but the lug-to-lug stretches out to 49, which is definitely on the larger side. Thickness, including the sapphire crystal, comes in at 13mm, which is, again, a little chunky for a dress watch. And the lug width is 21mm, which means most of your strap collection probably won't fit. But like I said, if your wrist can handle it, none of that really matters. On my 17cm or 6.7 inch wrist, I think it looks fantastic. It doesn't feel out of proportion, the lugs don't look too long, and it doesn't come off as too thick either. To me, it just wears great, nice wrist presence, super comfortable, and overall, I love the way it feels. Of course, you might see it differently, so let me know in the comments what you think. When it comes to the design, it's been pointed out to me that this one is an homage to the Baltic HMS, and after a quick visit to Baltic's website, I can confirm that's absolutely correct. It's not a direct copy, but the resemblance is pretty clear, especially if you look at the profile of both watches. The design itself is inspired by pieces that were popular in the 40s, and if you Google that, you'll see similar case shapes from Hamilton, Movado, and even Omega. Well, Boderry has taken that vintage vibe and combined it with a colorful dial, modern materials, and updated finishing to create a result that I personally find very appealing. Guys, speaking of the build quality and finishing, this is where the Boderry really excels. Everything is so beautifully machined that it's hard to believe that this is a $150 watch. Compared to the other Boderry models I own, this one is simply on another level. On top of that, it comes with a nice and clear sapphire crystal, a screw-down crown that gives you 100 meters of water resistance, and drilled lugs for easy strap changes. Alright, next let's take a closer look at the dial. Well, guys, I'm happy to report that it looks flawless up close. I don't see any imperfections, and the purple sunburst finish is really pleasing to the eye. But what stands out to me the most is the handset. It's nicely polished, and even has a cap on the stem, which is a small detail I really appreciate. Then at 3 o'clock you'll find a date window, which I don't think is necessary on a watch like this, but to be fair, it doesn't bother me either. The only thing that makes no sense are the loomed hour markers, simply because the hands don't have any loom. Besides that, my overall impression of the dial is very positive, it's legible, and as we just saw, it's really good looking. I guess it's time we talk about the next thing that makes this watch special, the movement. Inside we've got the Hangzhou caliber 7208, and the specs are actually quite impressive. It's a 21 dual movement running at 28,800 vibrations per hour, with a power reserve of 80 hours, which is something that you rarely see at this price point. In terms of accuracy, mine is running about 8 seconds fast per day in the dial up position, so no complaints there. But what really surprised me is how good this movement looks. You get some nice decoration, a golden rotor, and even blued screws. So yeah, this is without a doubt the best looking movement I've seen in a watch this affordable. The only question mark is long-term reliability, since I don't have much experience with Hangzhou calibers, but based on the ones I've owned so far, I feel pretty confident this one will hold up just fine. So, to wrap things up, I think this Boderry HOU has a lot going for it. The vintage-inspired design looks fantastic, the build quality really surprised me, and the movement not only performs well, but also looks far nicer than you would expect. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention the strap. It's actually really good quality and comfortable right out of the box, which is always a plus. Sure, the dimensions might not be for everyone and the loom situation doesn't make much sense, but overall, I think this is a very solid package. So if you're after a dressy watch that looks and feels way more premium than its price suggests, this one might be right up your alley. But if you're after something that falls more into the pure dress watch category, make sure to check out my Boutony S1492 review by clicking the pop-up banner above. That's it for today's review. Thank you very much for watching, I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any future reviews. Also, feel free to drop a comment below if you have any questions about the Boderry HOU, or if you already own one and want to share your thoughts. Take care guys, I'll catch you in the next one.